Another fun article I found with Southern Living Magazine. This was 10 home decor trends for 2021. Now, you might be watching this course or this video in the future and know that this came out of a time where we're still a little bit in a pandemic, but we've learned a lot, right? We've learned a lot about how people use their homes, and it is forever going to change the way they use them for the future, right? Some people right now are just starting to go back to work, or they're realizing that they either need to stay at home, go all the way back, or some are still doing a hybrid. So long story long, the need for space in the house is becoming a necessity. And folks right now in 2021, we're over a year into working from home. They're at their limit, right? And they might be thinking, one, we need a different house. Then yes, they should call you and buy a new one, list their current one. But a lot of that is inspired by they don't have a designated space for it, or they don't have enough transition space for it. I personally have found that buyers either want to be able to shut the door to an office. We're done with the day. That's the difference between work and home when you work from home. Other folks like to kind of be on their own and utilize their whole house. I think you maybe have clients like that as well. And they want to be able to have all these little bit different drop zones, which a lot of office spaces had moved to drop zones as well. The days of you hanging a picture of all of your kids and your dog and a little clay mug that someone made at camp with pens in it, that's already kind of been a little bit of a change the last few years. This, I think, highlights probably what we already know. Open floor plans are great, and I think that they're still on demand. Here's what I think is changing, is they don't want it so open, and it's because they need an extra wall. Things have been so open that there's no wall now to just back that desk up against and use it for your laptop, computer space to work, even as a makeshift spot for homework or for actual office work, or just even a zone to drop those things. So, excuse me, I think we're still going to see open floor plans, but I am wondering if maybe that's just a little bit of at least a wall coming in, so we've got places to set extra furniture pieces. Won't be a little bit of a transition we see sometime in the future. Back to beige. Now, we've been on this gray trend forever, right? The agreeable gray by, is it Sherwin-Williams? I'm not sure if it's that or Benjamin Moore, but they each have their infamous gray paint color. I think we're still going to see that come around. I was reading an article this year with the National Association of Realtors that named the #1 color trend for the year to be bronze. And it basically was a brown version of gray. So I think we're still probably in the grayish family, but I definitely think that we're going to start seeing some of these warm brown hues get coupled in. And I think we'll see a couple examples here coming up why that's making a trend back. Plush picks. This is basically what they're calling the athleisure or the at-leisure form of fashion, right? We've all kind of got casual outfits that are something that you can run to the store in. Definitely looks cute, but definitely something that's comfy that you can stay home as well. I'm sure we've gotten a little bit more casual during the pandemic maybe as well. Our furniture is a reflection of that now. We definitely want those things with soft textures, and what this article is calling the impromptu snuggle session. I agree. I agree. Shelves to show off. We were talking about that at some point in this video series. You're going to see a video where I kind of pointed out that built-in cabinet or that TV entertainment area that used to come standard as a built-in. This is definitely reflecting on that trend a little bit further, where we've got these floating shelves to really kind of show off our decorating, create little vignettes maybe of the things that we collect. And I think it's interesting, all the things people collect. I saw an adorable floating shelf while I was doing research of this course for old cameras. And another one I found really interesting was old toasters that all look like they were vintage, anywhere from the 60s, kind of an Art Deco looking toaster, all on these floating shelves. But definitely a way to show off and showcase our personalities. A return to the traditional. I think that it's all about comfort and having your home function and having all of these plush items that we've been talking about. When I think of a traditional home, I definitely think of all of those beiges that we had in the 90s, or mainly into early 2000s after we got out of some of those more saturated jewel tones. But homeowners are seeking this feeling of comfort and going back to some of those traditional things that make them feel comfortable and at home, kind of going back to their childhood, so to speak. Creating a sense of optimism. This is what I'm going to call the pop of color. So maybe a very neutral space. I'm starting to see more white walls on white trim come back into trend. And then really where the color is being added is kind of this bohemian style of these great pops of color. So bright yellow, seeing more electric blues and hot pinks, and those really kind of saturated jewel tones come in, but not from a dark perspective, from a very bright perspective. Germ-free upgrades. So what are your maybe buyers going to be looking for that they don't have to touch? Can they turn on a water source in their kitchen or bathrooms without touching anything? That could be one. I had heard that touchless garbage cans in your kitchen, that has been a huge thing, where you step on the pedal or wave your hand over the lid and it opens for you. I've heard that the demand for those during the pandemic completely shot up. So what are all of those surfaces that are going to reduce the spread of that bacteria? Those have definitely grown in popularity. This is about garden space, right? Or outdoor space. And I think that we've seen the need, again, inspired by the pandemic, is your outdoor entertainment space being just as important as your inside. I don't know about you and your clients, but I personally definitely saw a huge trend during the pandemic where we wanted to get together. We still needed to socially distance, so we got outside. And we utilized yards and decks and spaces outside versus coming in. We maybe now have looked at a shift where that trend is going to remain important, where having space to decorate outside becomes just as important as decorating on the inside. Natural appeal. Okay. Read the script yourself. It says the word wicker. Now, when I think wicker, I think of my sister's gorgeous senior photo, by the way. It's gorgeous, but it does have that big fan chair, right? I keep thinking that's so dated. Take that picture down. Maybe it's making it come back. This is what I'm going to call that bohemian theme, though, of wicker. I think we're seeing a lot more macrame and we're seeing a lot more things that are woodsy material. One trend I'm sure you've seen is kind of that brown short grass welcome mat that says the Schaefer's established 2021 on it, right? With the black script. All of those things are just part of that natural kind of style. Might be something even to consider as, I know some of you do for closing gifts. That's a great closing gift a lot of you have done. You put your logo on the back side of it. But these lighter tones coming in, again, with a lot of this natural wood, which just ties in with some of those browns and beiges we've been talking about in our time together. This might be my favorite one. This is the idea of the drink trolley. Obviously, during the pandemic, we went for a long time without maybe being able to go to our favorite restaurants or watering holes. And then all of a sudden, people were going to the grocery store to buy 2 weeks worth of wine, and the pandemic lasted longer than 2 weeks. And now to make maybe your favorite cocktail, if you're someone that likes more than 2 ingredients, you now maybe have had to buy some of those extra bitters or different tools. You're maybe having mint on hand now and you didn't before, or extra lime or something like that. But having that drink trolley that you can move around, most maybe don't have that built-in bar or a built-in wine fridge or something like that. So that drink trolley, I guess it says it's increased in popularity this last year by 117%. Again, is this the next closing gift? I don't know. That's my list. Again, I thought a fun article brought to you again by Southern Living Magazine about upcoming trends, but some things that I thought were maybe worth considering, what your sellers might be thinking or what they might be looking as they purchase. How are they going to function in this home? It's not just all about bedrooms and bathrooms, but workspace now is too, obviously. Thanks again.